Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast. I am, of course, Nick McDaniel, and as always, I am joined by my buddy Aaron.
Hello, folks. Welcome to another show about professional wrestling produced by people who love professional wrestling. And it's going to be a weird time to be a wrestling lover these days if people don't act right. So let's go, folks.
Well, man, let's jump into it. Well, first and foremost, we haven't even discussed this off air, but of course, happy anniversary.
Yes. Wonderful. 4 years of doing this podcast. I didn't have a speech written. I didn't have a speech prepared, but folks, thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to do this. Thank you, Nick, for giving me the opportunity to do this. Thank for everybody who's listened, who spoke to me, all the people I've met, all the people I've come to know through this, and all the people who've just made my life so much more rewarding through doing the podcast. And I really do appreciate that. 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years, man. Today, well, okay, full disclosure, tomorrow, the 26th was our 4-year anniversary of doing the podcast, and we did want to take a second just to say thanks for everybody who's ever watched, listened, subscribed, bought a t-shirt, anything, everything. Let us hang out, being parts of shows, things like that. It's been a cool ride for 4 years. Wow. I've got a big announcement to some changes coming next week's show. So, that all being said, I'm going to save that for the end of the show. So, stick around.
4 years.
4 years. It's a long time, man.
Is that the world record for podcasts?
Could be. You never know. It's almost as long. Well, I'm not going to say that. No, I'm not going to say that. That would be inappropriate.
My marriage didn't make it this long.
Well, okay. So, you stole my thunder, right? But anyway, lots of stuff. I mean, it was a tough week for content this week, considering everything that happened over the weekend. Of course, we had SummerSlam, we had Takeover, AEW on a different night. They were on Saturday.
Thunderdome.
So my question would be, should it stay that way? We'll get there. Obviously, the debut of Thunderdome this week was a big, massive thing as well. A few other things, and of course, as always, we wrap up and go home at the end of the show with the Georgia Indie Talk. But let's start with, I would have to say one of the most surprisingly good things of the week was SummerSlam. We think about it. Everybody's been dogging WWE for quite a while now. Yeah. But I think deep down inside, let's leave Raw out of the equation for now. But SummerSlam itself pulled off a pretty good show there.
Decent, solid show. There were a couple matches that bored me that I wasn't interested in, but then again, I didn't watch them. I focused on what I wanted to see. I wanted to see the 2 women's title matches, which were phenomenal. Great matches. I wanted to see the Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville match, which was not the best wrestling in the world, but it was also had a higher level of intensity and passion. That was terrific. The Drew McIntyre match with Randy Orton, amazing. But yeah, the rest of it, I'm over the Mysterio Seth Rollins thing.
See, I disagree with you, man. Okay, first of all, overall, I actually love SummerSlam. I thought it did a phenomenal job. But as far as the disagreement part, Dominic surprised everybody, and I thought they told a very good story in their match overall. Did he make a couple mistakes here and there? Sure. I know everybody's catching him grief because he slid the chair in the ring and it went all the way across the ring, and then Seth just kind of knocked it out of the ring. It is what is it. Think about it. How many matches has the kid had?
I don't know.
Yeah, and we're going to tease somebody else kind of with this over the same weekend. Did something very similar, who we'll discuss later on when we're talking about Takeover. But I think overall that the Seth Dominic storyline has done fairly well. And then Dominic just kind of stepping up, and I think he's done better. It was funny because at my core I thought he can't be that good, but then when he did, I was like, I caught myself going, okay, but he has Rey Mysterio's kid.
Yeah, well, he's going to have a little bit more athleticism than our children would.
Well, I just mean from the sheer fact of he's probably been in a ring for God knows how long.
Yeah, good point too. It was a weekend for athletic surprises. My favorite thing altogether was the Roman Reigns run out. I hate to say it. Nobody will say I like Roman Reigns, but Roman Reigns is a bulwark that they haven't had through this whole COVID time. he's a bigger than life character.
Well, he had
was
a
a guy
hell of an
who,
edge on him this week. I mean, when
yeah,
he came out too.
and he might be a heel, so that makes things crazy, man.
You know, it's funny. I don't know that I buy the heel thing. I know a lot of people are throwing out there the could he be in Retribution with the shirt that he had on, the wreck everything and leave. Could he be? Possibly. I don't think so, but I think that just you know, it looks like Vince probably just pushed the envelope and said, "Let get an edge on you, man. Be a little more rough. Maybe make those fans who give you the pushback, make them like you."
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, it was so secretive that they had Alexa Bliss ready to go to do something, like ready to go, about to go out there and do something, and they pulled her and sent him out. She didn't even know he was coming. How insane is that? Nobody knew. They kept it a total secret. Had I not watched it on Monday instead of I could have watched it. Couldn't really watch it Sunday night because I went to bed early. But Monday, I knew Roman Reigns was going to show up, but I was still the anticipation of seeing Roman Reigns and the way they did things. Not the world's biggest Roman Reigns fan. I just think they need more of the Roman Reigns type thing. Ratings are down. This might not be the best time for them. They've struggled. Bring back Roman. Bring back whatever you did that worked. So,
well, I think the when people talk about like, oh, bring this back, okay, you just need to, and it's funny. One of Eric Bischoff's favorite sayings is, you just need to quit advertising ahead.
Yeah.
Because you need to make them watch your show because they don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. It's live television. Anything. So I can't miss it. That's the mentality. And like a Roman Reigns surprise, like you said, nobody knew.
No.
Nobody knew this was coming.
And it was pretty good, man.
And I thought they did a great job with it.
Pay-per-view. It didn't run too long. It was action-packed from start to finish. I'd like more of that. And good God, we got another pay-per-view this weekend. How did that happen?
Man, they're just kicking them back to back to back. And then the next thing on my SummerSlam story kind of falls into Payback coming. I know Roman and Braun and Bray are going to have a triple threat for the title. But I mean, my thing is, like you said, I think we both probably agree the women have really stolen the show here for quite a while now. And I thought that 2-match story that they did,
yeah,
it's really heading in a good direction.
It was perfectly done. Told a great story. It built a tension between Sasha and Bayley. It put Asuka taking away one of the Golden Role Models belts. Now all Sasha has is a tag team belt, and then she's got to take a tag team match coming up on Payback versus Nia and Shayna Baszler. The Haystacks Calhoun thing was hilarious, where Baszler called Nia Jax Haystacks Calhoun. I mean, it's one of those references most, I guess, unless you're a real serious wrestling fan, wouldn't get that. But I knew it was coming, and I watched a lot of Raw just to get that. I just wanted to hear that dig she got in on her. So they're working out okay. They're working out okay.
Yeah, I think the storytelling itself, like, it's one of those, because everybody's like, oh, Asuka's going to be the one who suffers. No, Asuka's gotten her wins back, if you want to call it. I mean, I hate that, but whatever. And so she's back as as one of the champions. But it led to the tensions between the two. Yeah. And then obviously we're going to continue that story at Payback. And then down the road, we're going to continue that, I'm sure, at some point. You're going to get the unique story. What if the opportunity was, instead of actually splitting them up, you got the tension, but now Sasha's lost her belt. They lose the tag belts. And then somebody comes along and takes Bayley's belts. And they're back to where they were as friends. Neither one with their belts. But they're still together.
Are they still friends without all that gold?
They have been before.
Yeah, but they weren't heels before.
I'm just hypothetically saying. I know it's sexy and it's the whole thing is they split up and they have a feud. But what if the story is just like these two legit stick through it no matter what?
Well, that could be interesting.
You can get mad at your friends.
Yeah.
But you're still friends.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Good point.
Now, just me personally, I know this varies, and I thought hands down best thing on the card was Orton versus McIntyre.
Great match, solid match. It's one of the type matches that you know what's going to happen. Both men are extremely talented. Both men are extremely athletic. You got a good, solid match out of the two of them. You couldn't ask for anything else. You know, you got a quality match.
Yeah, I mean it was a straight, and that's what I was. It was funny to hear some of the pushback on the finish of that match. A freaking backslide, the backslide. Best response I had to all of that negativity, which by the way we'll definitely be discussing some of that later, was Bully's response to it of just, if it was good enough for Ric Flair and Kerry Von Erich, if it was good enough for Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes, I mean, small packages, backslides, I mean, they've been happening for decades, man. And I mean, guys have dropped world titles for them. And the irony that the greatest wrestler ever, it was kind of where Andy's calling himself, got beat by a counter into a wrestling move and got beat. Like, dude, that's a story.
It's the way wrestling's been done. He didn't have to get a giant finisher on him 14 times, and then the final time he just couldn't get up or whatever. They wrestled it. It was a wrestling finish, and that's cool. That's good. That's the kind of wrestling we grew up on. So
yeah, no, I'm totally sold on it. I was fine with it, and besides, I thought the two guys tore the ring up, and I didn't need, and it's not a knock on the other. Trust me, everybody thinks this is a knock when I said that. It was funny because Bully's comments were, you didn't need 27 super kicks. You didn't need an Asai moonsault through a table on the outside of the ring. High spot, flip, whatever. He was like, no, it was a wrestling move. He got beat. It's pro wrestling. The whole point is do a move that'll finish a guy. Doesn't have to look finish. I mean, think about me, the most asinine thing of the Asai moonsault to the table on the floor. You can't beat a guy outside the ring.
Nope.
And if it's counted out, you don't win the title.
If you've got a place if you want to see that kind of wrestling, there's a promotion that does that kind of wrestling. We live in an era now where we can see everything. You want to see the edgier stuff, you've got Impact. You want to see the flashier stuff, you've got AEW. You want to see the gritty like wrestling, you can watch Ring of Honor. I miss having the NWA for some goofy shit sometimes. And you get WWE or you get the sports entertainment package.
Right. And so that's totally what you're saying falls into our next topic, right? Yeah. You had SummerSlam, which was the WWE entertainment side. More of your purist. I mean, I always tell people, if you're more of a diehard pure wrestling fan, check out, like this weekend, we had Takeover on Saturday.
I love takeovers. The best comment I can give a takeover is, I don't always get a chance to keep up with the storylines, but it never seems to matter that going in, they do such a good job, like with the production, and the matches are always phenomenal, that I don't need to keep up with the stories. I can't imagine how good it would be if I were to keep up with the storylines. If I were to keep up with what was going on and the drama that was extra on that, it would be insane. I love everything they do there.
Yeah, dude. This weekend, by the way, the sad part is this was the first weekend in a long time, and people can laugh and backlash at this all they want. It's the first one in a while that I was like, I might actually argue the fact that I enjoyed SummerSlam more than Takeover. Just from the sheer, and God forbid if I say it might have been the Roman surprise. That they kept something from us that we had no clue.
Yeah, I love surprises. I mean, nothing at all. No clue at all. No tabloid, no nothing, no Meltzer. I mean, they had to stick him in a trunk of a car and get him in there? That's wild, man. Yeah. I love that. I love the surprises. The surprise run out. We're like, oh my God, it's Roman Reigns. Yeah. Oh my God, it's the Hardy Boys at WrestleMania. Oh my God.
The surprise of Takeover for me was Pat McAfee versus Adam Cole.
Yes.
He was way better than I ever dreamed he was going to be.
Yeah.
Now, here's some things. Here's what cracks me up. We were led to believe dude had been training for 2 weeks, and we knew better. Did you know he'd been training with Rip Rogers?
Holy shit. At Ohio Valley?
So he's been training like, it ain't like, apparently dude like had bought a ring because he liked wrestling. Dude, he has money. He was a professional. You know, I mean, we now that we think about it in hindsight, like he was a professional athlete. Yes.
So he doesn't have to travel. He don't have to travel in a car with 8 other guys and go all over the place and earn his,
No, he
five.
bought a ring because he wanted a ring.
I mean, Rick Rogers ain't no joke, man. That dude is one of the best trainers there is.
Yeah. So the athleticism clearly showed through when they got in this match, and clearly Adam Cole had to win. Okay, first and foremost, we got to set the table there. So you can't have Pat McAfee, but you can have him catch him off guard and a few surprises, and like that running like jump to the top rope, with the flip, we've tossed him off. Dude, that's some straight Kurt Angle shit.
Yep. It showed that he has an immense athletic talent. Give him the right training, put him in the right spot. No, he's not going to win. Adam Cole is a phenomenal wrestler, but he more than acquitted himself. That was the second, after Dominic, big surprise of the weekend as far as talent. The guy's the natural. Is he going to wrestle again? Maybe. He's a great shit talker.
Yeah.
So
he was one of the all-time shit talkers when it came to football as well. I mean, so I just was, again, really, really enjoy like when I get surprised like that, and he really did that. However, I put it out on Facebook and Twitter, or on Facebook specifically. The two studs coming out of Takeover, dudes have paid. I mean, they have paid their dues. They've earned every bit of it. And and I hate the he deserves better. I'm not saying that but Karrion Kross, Killer Kross, whatever the hell you want to call him, and Damian Priest / Punishment Martinez, whatever the hell you want to call him.
Yeah.
Both guys coming out of Takeover with titles. Kross with the NXT Championship, Damian Priest with the North American Championship.
Yeah. Solid.
NXT's in a good, solid position with those two as the champions.
Talent, just stacked up with talent. The best feeder system in the world. Either one of those guys can go on up there, and it's just, it's amazing to see that they've got so much going on down there. Ladder match was beautiful. Looked like something that had been on, something the Hardys would have been involved in. Those guys did good. They're big, brutal people, big guys. Is it Bronson Reed that dove off the ladder with Candice around his back, landed on Gargano? Oh man, that was great.
I'm right there with you, man. There's just something about that promotion down there. They're taking the pieces, they're putting them in the right place. Kross, like I said, he comes off with that entrance and his style. Now here's the thing. I know a lot of people dumped on this match. Well, obviously Kross was injured. And I wouldn't put it past the fact, like, we know how Killer Kross style of matches go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, clearly we just found out that 2 nights later, Keith Lee's on Raw. I wouldn't put it past the fact that he was probably told, they probably had a conversation of, we're going to put the title on you. You're going to Raw. We need to have a match that's like, okay, we need everybody to get out of here healthy. We don't need any crazy shit where somebody's going to get hurt.
They can go smart booking. Put the title on the guy, send the other guy up. It's what NXT's typically done it. Keith Lee is in a great position now. He's going to be in, I don't know if it's the main event of the pay-per-view, but it's a pretty big match versus Randy Orton.
Yeah.
And how about Randy Orton putting over guys? Randy Orton making guys. He made Drew McIntyre. That was a match Drew McIntyre needed to be firmly, not just the COVID champion, but the WWE champion. And now you got Keith Lee, and he's got an opportunity to really give Keith Lee that signature of approval, man. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So excited.
Yeah, and like I said, I just think, obviously coming out of, the Wednesday show for NXT, going and having such a good takeover, the momentum's there. The momentum's both for, there for both promotions, by the way, that typically airs on Wednesday nights. And that's kind of where we're going to go to next.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about, this isn't about just ratings and viewership. We're going to give you some of those numbers, but that's not completely what this is about. The question was, I'm going to ask the question at the end. How's that?
Okay.
So this past week, NXT runs unopposed. They were up against basketball, the NBA, but AEW had to move to Saturday nights. That we're all aware of. So NXT draws 853,000 viewers. That's up from 619 the week prior.
Big jump.
Huge jump. And by the way, that was against basketball.
Yeah.
Because the NBA, that's why AEW wasn't there. So that was a win. By the way, if you love negativity, which we'll talk about next segment, this isn't the segment for you because this isn't probably not what people were thinking. That's a win, in my opinion, for NXT. 2, AEW runs on Saturday night. They had to move because they were up against basketball. Basketball on Saturday pushed them a little later than they normally were supposed to even start. They still drew 755,000 viewers, down from 792, but for 37,000 viewers lost for a different night, for a non-stable time, I'll take that any day of the week. That's a win. And clearly TNT viewers thought it, or executive thought it was.
When you move a show, it's death, man. When you move a show, nobody can keep up with it. They were able to get out there and get the word out and get things organized and done well, so their fans knew where to go. You gave those networks wrestling at the 5th, number 5 show of the night. You had basketball at 2 and 3. So altogether, the Turner networks took 2, 3, and 5 on Saturday night. They're ecstatic with that.
Right.
Man, they're doing great. That's the thing. Everything is coming up roses right now as far as is for these guys. Everything's coming up better for NXT. WWE is looking up. They got a giant bump in ratings this week for Raw.
Yeah, we'll get to there. I mean, Raw was up to 2.02. Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
And it's up. That was up about. From 1.643, 23% increase. One of the best numbers they've had since like WrestleMania 36.
Tuned in to see the Thunderdome, and I think the Thunderdome did well.
Yep, SmackDown, same thing. SmackDown was up a hair. That was the debut of Thunderdome. So everybody, like I said, here's the thing. So Mondays did good, Friday did good, Wednesday did good for NXT, AEW did good. My question, I guess, and now you've probably seen it scroll across the bottom there. Would wrestling in general, like I know everybody thinks it's sexy to have this Wednesday night war, the ratings war between the two. Would wrestling be better, or would we be better as fans, and would wrestling as a whole be better if they actually didn't run the same nights? Like AEW, what if it ran on Thursday nights? Because Impact's on Tuesday. So what if they ran on Thursday?
We're in a bad situation, though, as far as getting that to happen, because we've made it such a war. One side's going to have to acquiesce and move. And NXT's been on Wednesday nights for forever, even though it wasn't on the USA. It was on the network on Wednesday nights. So if they can come off the fact that it's not a loss to move, if this basketball thing turns out, what are they moving to Thursday this week too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what if they hit it out of the ballpark? What if we have 5 weeknights of wrestling, of big time wrestling in a row? Because I'm counting Impact is coming up quickly. Mm-hmm. So, and that's what I'm going to do. I mean, one of the things when I get done with recording the show tonight, it's going to be about time for us to, the Impact, the second half of Emergence is going to be on. I'm looking forward to that. I could have wrestling 5 weeknights and then go to live shows. I can't see where anybody's at a loss here. I mean, if you could sell more ads and get more viewers by moving to another night, if both people could pick up another 150,000 viewers on a different night, maybe people who are WWE loyalists wouldn't feel bad about watching AEW. Maybe AEW people would want to watch NXT. Maybe you could get some kind of less of a competition. Maybe you don't have to have this war going back and forth. I was really surprised to see the thing about Thunder Rosa, where he just asked, Tony Khan just asked Billy Corgan if Thunder Rosa could work.
Right.
And she did.
Yeah. I mean, and that's where we're going next is, we were talking about AEW, maybe them moving to a different night that, kind of transitions into the thought of, look at the opportunities that are available there. I mean, being on we talked about Ivelisse and Diamante winning the tag, the tag team cup medals, thing this week. We had Thunder Rosa on Dynamite. We've had Ricky Starks. We've had Eddie Kingston. I mean, we just, some name after name of guys that have popped in. Some guys have obviously sign deals after that and, work there now. But I think with all those opportunities there, and then of course, we would be remiss if we didn't mention Alan Angels, Cody
Yep.
Vance, Lee Johnson, and
Yep.
on and on. Griff Garrison, the guys who've had Brady Peardo. I mean, like I said, I'm sitting here going like, wait, oh yeah, what about this guy? Oh, what about this guy?
Yep.
And then ultimately at the end of the day, somebody look, in my opinion, QT Marshall.
Oh yeah.
Massive opportunity. It's a land of opportunities right now, and I think to me, that's one of their strengths is the amount of opportunities they have to offer. And I want more people to see that, which led us out of maybe Thursday's the better. But like I said, I think you're right. Somebody's got to admit defeat to make that happen. Now, all that being said in that conversation, with Cody losing the title and he's no longer your TNT champion, is the invitation over? And is that a chip in the armor of now? Is it like you're not going to have all these guys rotating anymore?
Well, see, I think they took that as far as they could. I think they got the best people they could get out there. They didn't just have to bring out people out of, some little promotion down in like wherever. They did a good job with that. It looked very positive. Brody Lee, if he doesn't do it, it's going to look negative on it, but he's a heel, so looking negative on him is a good thing. I don't know how this whole title run is going to work with him, but guys, it's interesting. You got a new situation that you just can't pin down. Can't beat that. Surprise, anticipation, not knowing everything. That's positive for me.
Well, but it's because it's new. People are going to complain. People are, it's not what they wanted. It's not what they think. And that's going to bring up our next topic, Myron. Why do you ask? Is Mandy Rose and Otis on the screen, right? It all started from a little tweet, that I really enjoyed Bully Ray come back to when somebody said they basically wanted to crap on Otis. I don't why. And, Bully's response was just kind of funny about yeah, I mean, it's terrible to be Otis. I mean, he wrestles in WWE, he makes a good living. He's on TV. He's entertaining. He gets to hug and kiss on Mandy all the time. Oh God, it's got to be terrible to be Otis.
Yeah, it's got to be the worst life ever. I don't see how Otis doesn't just wake up and put a gun in his mouth one morning.
I mean, it's just a terrible, terrible but fans are going to crap on it. Doesn't matter why, because it's not what they want. It's comedy.
Is he the best wrestler? Is he a Kurt Angle? Is he perform like John Cena? Can he? No. Okay. Is he fun? Yeah. Doing the worm last night or during SummerSlam, fun. Support his girlfriend, wholesome and cool. You wanted something different. You got the most different Money in the Bank match you ever had.
By the way, like he's pointed out, he's carrying that briefcase around. It's just, to me, like I said, the why is the segment, some fans suck. It's because of stuff like this. Like, there's no reason to attack Otis in that scenario. There's no reason that makes any sense to me why fans are absolutely raging on the fact that the Thunderdome registration is so fast. Oh my God, it goes so fast, and I don't have a chance to get. Okay, tickets to events are like that, for one.
Yeah, and it's free.
It's free.
So you got to be willing to compete to get in, or whatever it takes to get in. And then you get in and you do something really stupid and you get banned for life.
Yeah, which we'll get there in just a second, because I do want to throw in here my biggest pet peeve with the complaints. But AEW allowed 10% or some crap, into their show, and those tickets sold out, and it was seconds or minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so awesome. Their fans are loyal. Okay, so is it loyal to sell out the fan, or is it loyal, or is it they're not doing enough to give more tickets or what? We always joke about wrestling fan hypocrisy, and that's just kind of my ultimate what I can't stand. But then the thing I can't stand the most, I'll let you address that, is with the crap that you're talking about on the Thunderdome of why we can't have nice things.
Why we can't have nice things. Thunderdome is really cool. I can't go to a WB event. But if I want to, I can try and get my ticket and get on there and sit here in my comfortable wrestling podcasting chair with my comfortable little webcam on my big screen here and watch the show and be happy. But no. Fire Velveteen Dream. That's not the worst one. Chris Benoit was poor taste.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people wouldn't know what the hell that meant. But if you were sitting there watching the show with your kid, you just had got your kid the network, or you just had to get your kid's 8 or 9 years old, and you're the mom, and you're questioning watching wrestling anyway. My mom questioned watching wrestling because me and my brother beat the hell out of each other after we watched it, typically. We tried all the moves. But so you're sitting there with your kid, and your kid wants to watch wrestling. They're excited about it, and you're happy they're excited about something, and it feels good. And then you see a guy in a Klan robe waving a Confederate flag. And that's so when live events come back, are you going to be sitting next to that guy? Okay. It hurts the whole fan base for making us look like dicks. Okay. Am I a bad wrestling fan to sit next to? Yes, because I'm fat and I might take up half of your seat too, but I'm never going to insult you or be horrible or give you problems. Why can't we just enjoy the wrestling? Why do we have to be edgy? Why do we have to put up that Chris Benoit picture? Why do we think we have to be? Why is trolling? Why is getting blocked by JBL something big? Okay. Why does trolling people and bothering professional wrestlers, not even, good God, look at the poor Sonya Deville. Guy comes to her house and was going to kill Mandy Rose, blah, blah, blah. He's outside in the driveway. Why do we want to do this to
Like
people?
it was the Chris Benoit thing, right? That somebody like shared it and it's like, oh, it was me that I did it, and then showed he was banned or something stupid. Like you're like,
ban him.
Is that cool?
Like, they gave you something for free. They gave you the opportunity to watch this in a different way for free in the Thunderdome and have your mug on television. Something cool. What was it? Mark Henry said some of that pyro was CGI. Mm-hmm. It looked great. Everything looked great. I loved watching it. I thought things were really, really cool. And you're going to turn around and do that.
Anybody who crapped on, here's my thing. I will tell you this, and you're right. The thing with Thunderdome was like anybody who crapped on it was going to crap on it no matter what.
Yes.
Carl Anderson. Don't even get me started. Literally tweeting out, you hope it, and I, pardon my language, hoped it fucking failed miserably, and it's your friend, Uncle Alan, it's your friend's company. It debuted on his show, and that's what you tweet out. So, again, this is probably is part of why there are wrestling fans who think it's cool to be that guy. But, dude, what I told somebody was the thing Thunderdome proved is that when it comes to production, now look, I get it. We're not talking about wrestling storylines. We're not talking about creative, none of that. From a production level, nobody can touch WWE when they try to do it. WrestleMania has proved that every year, by the way. Yep. If you forget, Thunderdome is proving why. It looked like a A+ rock concert. So don't knock the production level. I thought they absolutely nailed it, but yet there's still people that are like, oh, yeah, but. No, don't, oh, yeah, but. Give them credit where it's due. Now, if you want to say you don't enjoy this part of the storyline, that's a different argument. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. Well, we've been watching matches in the Performance Center with developmental talent beating on the damn plexiglass. Okay? And it didn't feel real. It didn't feel right. And everybody was, and the ratings went through the shitter. So they go and they get a big stadium and they build this Thunderdome in it to try to improve the wrestling viewing experience for the wrestling fans. And we do this. What's next? Somebody going to take their wiener out? Really.
It's bound to happen, right? I mean, somebody's bound to do something stupid like that. Some woman's going to flash. Some dude's going to, whatever. But listen, if I'm taking what you say, your whole thing is, oh, if you don't like it, don't watch. My thing is dude, just stop. If you're that miserable with your life, then that's the part. The fans that suck that bad, I'm not asking you, just stop watching. There's no point in being miserable. It doesn't matter whether you're, you have a podcast, whether you have, because if you're just that miserable, I don't know why people even listen.
But why do you watch it? Why do you watch a wrestling show when you hate it?
Yeah.
I have to watch that damn Housewives show when I go upstairs and fucking Golden Girls, because my girlfriend's always watching that stuff upstairs when I go upstairs. And generally there's food. So she's going to make food. I'm going to watch whatever. Okay. Whatever, you know, but the thing is, I wouldn't willingly turn it on and then bitch about it.
Right.
Okay. I didn't turn on SmackDown. I didn't turn on SummerSlam and say, damn, this sucks. But I'm going to sit here and make myself watch every single minute so I can bitch about it on the internet. Why?
Yeah.
Why? There's all other kind of programs. There's cable television is limitless. YouTube, limitless.
Myron, I can give you one. When it comes to pro wrestling, you always have an alternative. And for us, right here in Georgia, it's the Georgia indie scene, right?
Yes.
So we're heading into the final segment of the show, the Georgia Indie Talk. Going to talk a little bit about stuff. First and foremost, let's lead out with we've talked about, Cody leaving. Apparently, he's going to be involved in this heels thing with Stephen Amell. So we do want to plug it. August 25th in Tyrone at the rec department, 10 a.m. They're basically doing tryouts for this thing. And pay attention here, folks, because I actually almost screwed up the email. It's Heels Wrestlers. So Heels, that's with an S, Wrestlers with an S. I thought Heel Wrestlers was probably, and it's like, no, there's an S under Heels. So Heels Wrestlers at gmail.com to send in your registration. Here's my challenge. If you're in the state of Georgia, you're an indie wrestler, why are you not emailing this and trying to get into this show, TV show, whatever, the documentary, mini movie, whatever the hell they're doing? Why? I can't imagine anybody in the state not being involved or trying to be involved.
Oh, God, yeah. You should be falling over yourself getting involved with this. Hell, y'all need like a fat guy to sit in the crowd and look like a stupid fan.
We've done that.
I've done it before. We are experienced extras.
Yeah.
I can bring more people. We can do what it needs. We work for, what did we get last time? We got food last time.
Yeah. It was a pizza.
Yeah. Oh, no, it was something else. I can't remember what.
Oh, no, it was actually pretty good. It was catered. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was catered in. Yeah, and I enjoyed it.
But anyway, so Heels, check it out. Stephen Amell, the tryouts, August 25th. Heels Wrestlers at gmail.com. Get your stuff in, man. Try to get in this one. I want to see everybody that, all of our friends on the Georgia indie scene. I really want to see them involved as much as possible. The other thing that we'd love to be involved as much as possible, friend of the show, Stephen Platinum, addressed something, and I think we're going to follow up with it next Tuesday. There's going to be a big roundtable discussion on it. The Georgia Wrestling History Awards. It's kind of a big, deal here. And I know everybody's likes to say, no, it's not. Yes. There's always that debate every year. And we always end up being, yes, it is. But the question that he posed out there is, should there even be a Georgia Wrestling History Awards this year? Because, what did I say earlier, Myron? Literally, nobody remembers anything from the beginning of the year. I remember two things. The irony, and again, with what we see, two things in my memory stand out from before COVID. Joe Black and William Huckabee at the Southern Honor Show where they destroyed a car.
Yeah.
Okay, that one. And I just remember the absolute destruction of Judas versus Logan Creed at Southern Fried, and that when with Logan left laying just buried under barricades and chairs and all that, all the above, and the kitchen sink. That's it, folks. I'm sorry. I mean, and it's not a knock on any promotion. It's not a knock on any matches, wrestlers. Dude, this has been an absolute nightmare on my memory since March.
It's been stress. Stress hurts your memory. Stress, anxiety, depression will ruin your memory. And guess what 2020 has been? It's been a stress, anxiety, and depression sandwich, man. I haven't got to go to the thing that made me so happy, indie wrestling. I hadn't get to see my friends. Hell, I've only seen you once in the last 4 or 5 months. I haven't seen Gary. I haven't seen Alan. All the people that I were pretty much regular friends with, I haven't seen.
Yeah.
My life changed dramatically. I was a fairly social person inside the Georgia wrestling scene. Now I'm just some guy in his basement bitching about stuff.
Feels like it.
I could be a guy in his basement bitching out stuff that he's got a lot of friends that he likes again.
So the measuring stick is, can somebody do enough? I mean, I'm not knocking the folks that have run. Has anything stood out up to this point of anybody being back and run that you was like, that makes them jump out to be award noticeable? No. Again, no disrespect to anybody. You're running outside shows and it's just it's a weird, like, quirky little thing. So I'm like, okay, I don't know that anybody can do enough. We're going to see. But if we're asking this question today, I don't know that anybody can do enough between basically September to the end of November. That's all you get, folks, because the voting process is already in.
Basically 6 months total for the entire year. You're basically going to get half a year of wrestling, and the first part nobody remembers.
Right. You get 3. You get September, October, November. 3 months.
Even on a good year, voting in November, nobody remembers what happened in January. That's just a fact. It's the wrestling.
We joke about April, May to like the end of November. Like that's when you get hot, you get a window to run and make it stand out. Now, again, we mentioned the 2 things we remember from the beginning of the year. Awesome. I won't forget those. But in Georgia, I don't know that prove me, what do we always say? Prove me wrong. So could it happen? Me personally, I'll expand if, I think I'm going to try to make it Tuesday to Tipping Point. By the way, you should be checking that out, Tipping Point, Georgia Wrestling History. Check them out. I'll expand maybe. I just don't think there probably should be at this point. I don't know that enough can be done.
I think there should be some recognition, like you get recognized for this you did, contributing to Georgia wrestling during the COVID season. But I don't think there's awards. I don't think you can hand out a promotion of the year. I don't think you can hand out a wrestler of the year.
The promotion of the year is the one that's still running in December. I mean, come on. I mean, something like that. We don't want, and I think that was what Platinum said. You don't want awards by default awards.
Yeah.
Well, this guy won by default. Okay, that shouldn't be. Somebody should have stood above, head and shoulders above everybody else. Promotions should have stood head and shoulders above everybody else. And to be blunt, if there's only 2 or 3 promotions running, it's tough to swallow. But hey, we'll ask you. You can let us know at TappedOutPod on social media, tappedoutpod@gmail.com. Doesn't matter. What do you think? Should there be awards? But hey, I know going into this week, there's promotions that are going to try. First and foremost, Friday, right? Yep. Rumble Jack, August 28th. That's this Friday. Doors open at 7, bell time at 8 at the Action Building in Marietta Road, Canton, Georgia. SouthernHonorWrestling.com is the website. You can't pre-order tickets this time, folks, because of the way they're having to do seating. But the tickets will be on sale at the door, so I would get there early. Just saying.
Get your tickets. Go have dinner. Come back at 7:45. Don't rush to get in the building early. Okay?
Right.
Take your time. You'll have a seat. But get early, get your tickets. Go to one of the lovely restaurants in Canton and have something to eat. There's that jammin' Mexican restaurant down at the end of the place. Go do something. Find something to do. Don't crowd up on top of everybody. It's going to be really the first major indoor show since COVID in Georgia. I applaud the outdoor shows. Good God, Southern Fried is killing it. 300 plus every show.
Friend of the show, Ted Shoemake, saying that they do great stuff, man. He's went to Alaska and and really enjoyed it. So
yep. And see, I go for all my Georgia wrestling information when shows are running. I follow the Rob Rod report. Our friend Rob Rodenhecker, Rob Rod, the guy is on top of wherever matches are going to be, shows are going to be. He keeps up with it. You got Southern Honor on Friday. That's going to be amazingly. Big show. Rob's actually going to do another video because he does his predictions for shows like this. And then on Saturday, you have Wrestling United in Franklin, and you have the Renegade Anniversary Show in Chatsworth. That's going to be pretty cool. They're doing all kind of neat stuff, pulling out all the stops for the anniversary show. A lot to be excited about. I can't wait to get to the building. Okay. I can't wait to see who the surprise entrants in the Rumblejack are. I can't wait to feel like a wrestling fan again. I can't wait to get my feet in the building. I want to be back. I want things to be back normal. I'm scared as hell though.
Yeah.
And that's all I can tell you. I'm scared.
Well, hopefully as of right now, the plan's to be there. This Friday up there at up in Canton for Rumblejack, but we'll have to see. But hey, we saved it till the end of the show, and everybody's going to be the curiosity, right, to see what was my big announcement was. And I thought, man, this is the best place to do it on our 4-year anniversary. So we do this video on Facebook every week. We drop it, right on Facebook. But I have had such a challenge with Facebook over the last few months. We're actually not going to do the video on Facebook anymore. Oh my God, the kickback we've gotten for when we run ads for the show, which hopefully now that everything's starting to loosen up, we're starting to get some tire kickers about doing the ads again, some for advertising and stuff. Facebook was giving us grief about running ads on the show, about letting the videos play, etc. I've had more claims. I had claims on their new intro song. By the way, I put the link out to the person who did the for their Facebook page for the guy who did the intro theme. If you need any intro music, check it out. It's I shared the link and I'll share it again. But we got a copyright claim on it. And dude wrote it for us. It literally wrote it for, I'm like, dude, this is not, And so I had to fight it for 2 weeks, believe it or not. And then they finally were like, oh yeah, you're right. I'm really just kind of more tired of fighting the copyright claims. And
it doesn't matter how much money we pour into advertising ourselves when they handicap it by taking away our ability to post stuff, or we get money in from Loot Crate. And then they ban us for, advertising for Loot Crate because
that was the ultimate example. We advertised Loot Crate 1 week, and they basically banned the video, saying that we were selling something, so we couldn't do that. And it was just like, okay, so it's starting to prevent us from doing the ads that we need to do to make
the video, and you can still watch it for free.
Absolutely,
anytime.
2 places it's going to be available to watch the video. Obviously, it'll be on YouTube, but that's not what we're telling you to. By the way, because you can go. If you go to patreon.com /tappedoutpod, you don't have to log in. You don't have to become a paid member. But if you just go to there, the videos will still be on the page. Now, if you go there and become a member, you'll get it early. That's one of the perks of being a member. This episode's going to go up on a Tuesday when obviously the show comes out on a Thursday. I'll still release that like normal. The sad part is I may change the time on Thursday now that we're not doing it. As far as I'll probably change the time, but we'll let you know all that ahead because this is going to be the last week we're still doing it the old way. But anyway, so patreon.com /tappedoutpod will be where we will recommend you go to watch it. And like I said, what was that?
There'll be links.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna put the links on Facebook. They're gonna be on Twitter, everywhere to go see it. But it'll be a cool place, and you'll be able to see all the cool stuff maybe you're missing. And then you can sign up and become a member and get all the cool stuff. Because, we always like it when you guys help us, at least support the show one shape, form, or fashion. We always greatly appreciate it. The other great place that we always say is you can go is
ProWrestlingTees.com. One of my favorite producers of t-shirts, Pro Wrestling Tees. They make quality material. They make great shirts, great graphics that never fade. A shirt that's durable, well-priced, and available for all your favorite local, independent, nationwide wrestlers, all your AEW types, and your favorite wrestling podcast, the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com and put Tapped Out Pod right there in the search bar, and you'll go right to our store.
And, of course, you can always head to any of these places here. YouTube, of course, like I said, where the video will be there as well. But you can also listen to us on all your favorite podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartMedia, Spotify, Podbean, Google Podcasts, you name it, man. We're everywhere. We do ask you, please go subscribe. Give us a 5-star rating and review. We would greatly appreciate that. Because that's, hey, help you boys out. We always try to come to you, like I said, now for 4 years. Whew, 4 years coming to you weekly to give you the show. We appreciate it, guys. We don't ever let it be wasted on us that anybody who's ever spent $1, anybody or more, just helps financially supporting the show, who's listened, who's emailed, messaged. We always greatly appreciate that. But hey, that's all I got for this show, man. You got anything else, man?
4 years to tapping out, Nick.
That's right.
That's amazing. I mean, our wives never thought we'd last this long. Nobody thought we'd last this long.
Wouldn't be the first time they've ever been surprised how long we lasted.
Oh. Well, on that note, I've got nothing else.
Well, what's the old saying, brother? If I've got nothing and you've got nothing, what time is it?
It's time to tap out.